Future-Proof is sponsored by Learn Smart Academy, online revision courses for GCSE and A-Level. All your revision in one place, organised for you, interactive and game-changing.
Welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for joining me, Sarah Hopwood, as I conclude this programme on looking at removing waste from a business. And I was talking, just going into the break, about the importance of having teams that are then working on your priorities and just the importance of momentum. At the end of the day, it's about motion and momentum. And the way that you can really uphold that is by working an 8-week cycle, a project team cycle where there's strategic planning, there's mind mapping and magic wand and working with plans, initiatives, there's testing, there's benchmarking, and if people are reporting back, reassessing, plan, do, check, act, the PDCA cycle, then you're going uphill, you're making progress. And those project teams, it's a bit like putting a doorstop in to stop the ball rolling back, reassess, and then you go again and you just keep making progress. Then the PDCA cycle, so 8-week project team does a report back again. It's a bit like jamming in a doorstop. So if you imagine a ball there, it stops the ball rolling back down the hill and it gives you momentum. So it really, really helps. So measuring the outcomes, we need to develop measurable indicators that can systematically measure our output or outcome. These need to be predetermined at the start of the waste removal. So here is a chart where you can really look at your key performance indicators. We need to visibly monitor our progress. A simple graph can do the job. So get the group to brainstorm some alternatives. There's a place to write these, which you can actually write on a separate piece of paper, or you can do it on a whiteboard. And there'll be a tendency to use financial indicators. And what I say is, don't just make it financial. So look at the value and then look at the time. And if I carry on here, you can say, look, this is the projection. And just now you saw that imagery where I was kind of showing an image of progress going uphill, and then this is what can happen. And it's really, really important to see that we can coast sometimes. You're not always going to get determined progress, like 3 steps forward, 1 step back. That does happen sometime. So the key thing there is just stay in the process and go again. Failure is like starting again more intelligently. Just don't give up too easily. Those people who are successful in life, one of the common denominators amongst everybody is not about memory retention or IQ or EQ even. It's refusing to give up. And that's where we can really hold on to good progress. So I then talked about following the mind shop 5-step progress and going round and repeating it and doing it again, of identifying all the issues. And I'm going to go back and just find that for you just for a moment. There we are. Audit, prioritise. Then put your priorities to project teams. Always measure the outcomes, because that will tell you whether you're doing what you want to do, you're getting what you want to get, and then you repeat. And as if you've been following any of it, I'm a massive advocate of a one-page plan. And I'm going to just click through this example now of what a one-page plan might look like as you remove waste from your business. So this plan comes out from all the mind mapping that you've done. You've unpacked what the issues are, you've identified them, you've prioritized them, you've had your project teams on them, so you've got some action plans there. And then either the project teams or departments will have their own one-page plan, and the business as a whole should have a one-page plan too. That makes them working documents. You cannot put them in a drawer if they're one page. You pin them up, you have them on the desk, you have them on the boards in front of you. If you need to, you even put them in the loos. But they're working documents that people should be referring to all the time. And if they're working on project teams, this is where you can report back. Where are we now on the plan and how does it sit? And when I started this talking about waste right at the beginning, I was saying, the strategy of today is do not wait until the time is perfect or the landscape is perfect before you move. The strategy now is you move and you adjust. Flexibility is absolutely key. Blended learning, blended training, blended correspondence, if you like, is so important now. And it just creates a smooth journey, and you're constantly shifting and changing and adjusting. Not all the time. Sometimes you can obviously get a run at stuff and you go, oh, this is good. If it's not broken, don't fix it kind of stuff. So I'm just going to click through them now. And remember, the strategy is like the mission statement. So if you think of Mission Impossible, what is the strategy? It's like we will. And all the other thing I just want to say is the importance of the values of the business, and just make sure that anything on your waste reduction itinerary, on your waste production planning and strategy, make sure that every single example, your action plans and your targets moving forward, make sure they all fit with your core values. And a good way of confirming that is just imagine talking to somebody after you have successfully changed your business, and that you have reduced your waste and you have saved expenses. That's all part of it. And so your profits have gone up. And just imagine a television interview where somebody says, well done, huge congratulations. Could you now tell us how you did this? And if you can explain it all quite openly, and there's transparency there, then you know that you have done it in a way that supports your core values. The reason why I say this is because sometimes what can creep in, and it's survival. When people are in survival mode, they're worried about food, air and water. And, you know, they are seeing their business really crumbling in front of them, and they're trying to save costs. Sometimes we can fall into the consideration of, and it's the expression, to rob Peter to pay Paul, where people will perhaps assess a person, maybe Google them and think, could I get away with this? You know, where, for example, your price points could seriously vary. Now, I know that can change. You know, as consultants, I will have a different fee for a blue chip company to, you know, a local pharmacy kind of idea. We know that, but that's ethical, it's transparent. It's when sometimes it's like with like, and we are looking and just core values that we wouldn't be proud to share with our children, and make sure that you just shift and just make sure there's a total alignment in what you're saying. Make sure that that is what people see on the can. So I commend it to you. Watch out for waste. Conflict is a massive one. Waste is not always visible, and so be careful to look for what is invisible. Go back and look at the mind shop process that I've talked about before in your strategic planning, when I talked about teams and businesses working, and you've got the boardroom who are strategic and future thinking, and then you've got your soldiers, if you like, your Trojan horses working on the ground implementing your strategies. And what I was saying is, just imagine peeping through a visible curtain into your business, so you can watch your advocates, you can see who's working for you, but you can also see who is sabotaging you. The danger of you being fully immersed in your business all the time, i.e. visible to everybody, then what you will see is people nodding and smiling at you all in the right places, and behind your back or out of sight, they might be doing something else that could be either damaging your business, but also you could have the most amazing member of staff who's an introvert, who's very quiet, who is speaking you up the whole time, who is quietly recommending loads of clients to you. They're not taking credit for it. If you are out of sight, and if you like, you're getting an aerial view of watching them, you can see that little nugget of gold who is going around your business quietly, supporting you and upholding you. And what would you want to do with that person? Bring them in, train them up. You know, they're a rising star, and give them some responsibility, so that influence that they have created quietly, you can then use and get some leverage out of it and uphold them and hold them high. And the people who have been watching and following them quietly before, they could well come out the woodwork, and you could find a massive impact on your business. Those who are sabotaging you, call them out, appraisal process, all that stuff, train them, hold them accountable, but be true to your consequences. If they don't change their behaviours, let them go, because they will just sabotage you. Good luck, everybody.